In the spring of 2014, while I was in New York City for work, I visited an outdoor flea market in Lower Manhattan on my day off. There was a stallholder there who had a lot of junk, mostly nothing interesting, but he had quite a few stacks of records and some boxes of 70s memorabilia. I bought several records and found a stack of reel-to-reels in a box, along with some other rock memorabilia, mostly old magazines and some photographs. I picked out a few records and some of the other things, and the guy said he'd give me the whole lot for $50. Knowing I couldn't fit it all in my luggage, I left most of it on the pavement. A few things looked particularly interesting, and I only took what I could carry. Knowing what I know now, I wish I'd kept the whole lot. I got back to London and I played the records. The rest of the stuff sat on my shelf for months. Then one day I dug out the reels and looked at the one that said Morris Ravenscroft. I googled the names and nothing comes up. I kept the tape in mind, and later I was able to find an old reel-to-reel player to listen to the tapes and transfer anything interesting to digital. You always imagine that you might find some long-lost gem, but I wasn't prepared for this. The box had mostly old rock magazines. The reel-to-reels were labelled things like Italian radio programmes, political speeches, etc. There were some 70s-looking notebooks, some rather interesting photographs, and some photos of houses. I kept the Rolling Stone magazines and a daft-looking guitar player magazine with Robert Fripp on the cover and some of the photos. When I finally got access to a tape recorder, I put on Morris Ravenscroft tape and the song Trampin' came on. I thought it may have been a typical release from a 70s band, or maybe demos, considering the real box has handwritten song titles. However, as I listened, I realised I had something truly special on my hands. Reel 1 is all recordings and sounds like a dump down of master tapes or mixes. On the master box it says simply Engineer Wong. There was a second reel, unlabelled, presumably from the same sessions, that has some extremely quiet, almost indecipherable in-studio banter. Then the tape goes blank halfway through. The quality was bad whilst playing back the tapes, which can be heard in my first YouTube video. I took the tape to a friend who is an engineer, and we did what is known as baking the tapes to get a good digital copy. I've tried to transfer and master the audio with the highest fidelity as I could before playback caused any further damage. Surprisingly, the sound quality is almost pristine, minus a few of what they call dropouts here and there, a result of the age of the tape and the less than wonderful treatment it may have suffered over the years. Along with the tapes, there was a sparse notebook. It had a few track lists possibly intended for the finished album. The latter track list was the same order as the song order on the tape, so I left it at that, assuming this was the final order. It's my guess that these guys were possibly writing song demos for a record label, as lots of the songs are short and there are no covers. There's almost nothing else in the notebooks apart from the track lists and a badly drawn logo of the band. There were, however, 2 photographs tucked in the stack of notebooks, unsigned and not dated. The photos show 2 young men, hippies, in a shack, sitting down. There's a guitar behind them. Is this Morris and Ravenscroft? After I listened to the tapes, I went online again and googled the song titles and the names on the reels, but absolutely nothing comes up. There's no indication on either of the reels or anywhere in the notebook of their first names, nor where they're from, or where these songs are recorded or by whom, though presumably they are American. 2 of the Rolling Stone magazines in the box were addressed to people in Lake Zurich, Illinois and Chicago, Illinois, so it is quite possible this band was from around that area. I asked a friend in New York to go and find the man who sold me the tapes, but the other stallholders said they hadn't seen him recently. The album is phenomenal. It sounds prescient, almost contemporary in its fusion of progressive rock and folk country music. If anyone has any information about these songs or these musicians, Morris and Ravenscroft, please message me at morrisravenscroftband@gmail.com.